Have you ever had a challenging New Year's resolution that you struggled to stick to? Maybe you want to eat healthy this year, or you're going to stop spending money on pointless things when you're out. Well, that's sort of what I've done for my project this year. At the beginning of the year, I started with the goal of exercising an hour per day, 5 days a week, for 8 months. Alongside that, I wanted to research and learn different forms of exercise and how they affect the human body. I also wanted to see how different people of varied age groups reacted to those different forms of exercise. I was very lucky to be able to work with many different people from the community, like my brother, classmates, and teachers. Now, this project was a personal challenge to test my resolve. In the past, I found it hard to stick with things and had a tendency to be lazy. I was never very motivated to do much in primary school and even throughout high school at times. Even karate training was hard to go to sometimes, even though I enjoyed it. When I decided on this project, it wasn't about being the hardest thing ever. I set myself the challenge to get me out of bed every day and exercise, and to see if I could actually stick with it for an extended period of time. Think this sounds easy? Remember my earlier point about making a commitment and not being able to see it through? This was an essential focus for my project, and it took will. I learned a lot about myself through this approach, but before we get to that, let me take you back to 8-year-old me. So, how did I come to this project? It all starts with 8-year-old me. I've always had a passion for playing sports in primary school. I've always loved to play soccer on the oval with my friends. As I went into high school, I continued to do karate, but stopped playing soccer because we weren't close to the oval anymore, and no one else really played it. So, I started seeking something more to do. I found that in the holidays, when karate wasn't on, I'd always find myself very low on energy and very glum. I found that I didn't sleep well at night because I wasn't really doing anything. This is when Dad showed me a few short exercises that I could do with the 5 kilogram dumbbells that we had laying around our shed. Okay, for a little more context, it's summer holidays. I'm about to go into year 9. I asked my dad if he could show me some exercises with the 5 kilogram dumbbells that we had lying around our shed at the time. He showed me 3 simple exercises that I could do every second day that he did when he was my age. My dad has always been very fit, so I trusted what he was telling me. So, every day those summer holidays, I would do those 3 exercises and I would feel good about myself after doing them. It gets to the end of the holidays and I've definitely seen some physical progress. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to stick with it. But in year 10, just after we finished doing our year 10 play, I started up again with the same 5 kilogram dumbbells. I enjoyed it even more this time and started looking at different ways to use the dumbbells. I started seeing results again and found that I had a love for it. I continued to work out in my room reasonably consistently for the next 18 months. I kept on seeing more and more results as I progressed and gained more knowledge about working out. By this point, I was a lot happier with my body image and was comfortable being shirtless at the beach. Now, I'm about to go into year 12 with the idea of my year 12 project being the creation of wall murals. However, despite my arty dreams, one day, towards the end of the summer holidays, my mum came to me and proposed that I change my project idea from wall murals to something involving exercise, because she had seen that I had a passion for working out. I thought about it long and hard until we went back to school. I proposed the idea to the teachers. Everything went well, and I changed my project idea to the benefits of exercise and how I can help other people have the same confidence-building experience that I had. The main idea that I wanted to share with the community was not one of exercise linked with body image, rather one that encourages exercise for fun. I've tried to steer my project away from talking about body image when possible. Of course, I've had my own troubles in the past with body image, and I'm wanting to slowly fix them. However, when spreading this knowledge to the wider community, I don't want other people to become self-aware and start comparing themselves to other people and set unrealistic standards for themselves. Instead, I want people to have the opportunity to exercise and enjoy it without trying to change the way they look. I do think it is good to be healthy, and staying fit is important. However, when you start worrying about the way you look, it can cause body dysmorphia. Now, I'm focusing on body image personally because it has always been a goal of mine, but when teaching people about it, I don't want to instantly start telling them that working out is connected with body image. You can exercise and have no desire to change the way you look. So, what exactly was I doing when I say working out? Well, my dad got me a home gym set up on Facebook Marketplace for $200. After researching a lot, I created a 5-day workout routine that consisted of working out every body part once per week. Because my goal was to put on muscle, I found that training for hypertrophy was the most effective way to build muscle. Training for hypertrophy is when you come to failure on a movement in between 8 to 12 repetitions of that exercise. When you lift weights or perform other resistance exercises, you create micro tears in your muscle fibers. In response, the body repairs and rebuilds these fibers, making them thicker and stronger to better handle stress in the future. Over time, with consistent training, this adaptation leads to increased muscle mass and strength as the muscle fibers collectively enlarge. This is how hypertrophy builds muscle and contributes to improved physical performance. However, let me assure you that this may sound a little bit scary with me tearing my muscles, but it's fine. This has been heavily researched and it has been proven to have no negative effects on your body. Using this form of training, I've put on nearly 8 kilograms in the past 8 months and have just recently reached my goal of 80 kilograms body weight, and I'm extremely happy with the progress that I've made throughout the year. For the community aspect of my project, I decided to take the opportunity to work with a slightly older demographic of people. So, I started to create a 15-minute stretching routine every Monday morning for the teachers to do. Luckily, I had the opportunity to have a short talk to Shannon, my mentor, about working with people of different ages and things that I had to take into consideration when working with these people, because they may have older injuries. Seeing as Shannon has had years of experience of working with people of all ages as a personal trainer, he was a pool of wisdom that I could question. Shannon recommended that I do a similar but slightly less intense stretching routine with the teachers that we do to warm up at karate training. The next step in the risk assessment for my community aspect was to create a survey for all the teachers to fill out so that I was aware of any pre-existing injuries, so that I know to make sure not to push them too hard in those specific areas. After I sent out the survey, it was almost time to start the stretching routine. All I needed was to wait for the teachers that were going to participate in the stretching routine to complete the survey. Now, it's not enough though to know that it's good for you or even to feel the benefits. What I've learned this year is that you have to make the commitment. I didn't manage to crack this one with the teachers this year, but Nick and Daniel, it would definitely be worth you guys working on this one next year, if you could. Now, I've also worked with my brother throughout the year. He has had the same goal as me of putting on weight, so throughout the year we trained together and helped each other reach our goals. Now, this is the progress that we have made this year. All right, so this is me and Eden before we started working out. It is March 13th, 2023. This is our before physiques. Now, the next image that I'm going to show you is what we look like now. Okay, just kidding. All right, just kidding. This is the project. This is the progress that we have made from the 13th of March to the 13th of October. I have put on around 7 kilos, and my brother Eden has put on around 5 kilos. Both, I'm very happy with the progress that we have both made. Little comparison of me before and after. And there's Eden. I have had a few very exciting moments this year of realizing that what I was teaching people was working. The first was when I worked with the class and took them through a few stretches in the morning before we started main lesson. Now, it went well until I made them do push-ups. After that, I could see that they were all very angry with me. Anyway, after we finished, I could see that the class was a bit more talkative than the usual grumpy silence on a Monday morning. They all seemed a bit more awake, and I could see that the activity was really waking them up. Other exciting parts were finishing a workout and seeing a new vein in my arm or a new striation in my shoulder that I haven't seen before. It's an amazing feeling being able to see that all the hard work that I've been putting in is paying off. Maybe I weigh myself and I've put on an extra kilogram. This obviously won't be the same for everyone on their fitness journey, seeing as everyone has different goals. However, I've been self-conscious for a while about my body, so when I see that I'm slowly putting on weight, it is a truly amazing feeling. For all the time and effort that I've put into exercising and bettering myself every day, it's the best reward to see that it is all paying off. Lastly, after a few months of working with my brother, there was a certain point where it went from me having to drag him away from anything that he was doing to work out, where he would actually be the one asking me if I wanted to work out when I was tired and didn't want to. It's these moments where I've been able to see that all the time and effort that I've put into researching and teaching people this year has actually paid off. These moments have been some of the highlights of my year. You may have noticed that the majority of these experiences have been in the company of others. I've always preferred being around others when exercising. That's why I enjoy karate so much. And having my brother around to work out makes it way more enjoyable. As the year progressed, there were a few moments of discovery. One of them being talking to my mentor Shannon about different ways to manage injuries. I had been suffering from shin splints because of the skipping that I'd been doing when preparing for a karate tournament. Shin splints is what happens when you suddenly start exercising a lot and your body can't keep up. It is pain along the front of your shin bone or tibia. Shannon recommended that I start to wear shoes with more cushioning in the soles to lower the impact that is going into my shin. I started doing this and very quickly the shin splints eased off. Again, Shannon has been a world of knowledge to me this year and has helped me get through many injuries that could have been a lot worse without him. Perhaps others of you in the audience may be thinking, there's no way I'll be able to fit exercise in to everything else that I'll have to do in year 12. And to be honest, I've lost count how many times I've gotten home from school or work this year and all I wanted to do was sleep. I did give in sometimes and not do any homework or work out, However, one day at karate training, I asked Shannon if I could borrow a skipping rope. He gave me a skipping rope, and I took that home with me for the next time I felt tired. The day after, I just finished a large amount of homework, and all I wanted to do was to go to bed. I forced myself to get up, put my earbuds in, and go out to the shed to just do 10 minutes on the skipping rope. This instantly improved my mood tenfold. I had energy, I was happy, and I felt good. This was a turning point in my year. From then on, if I was feeling tired or a bit run down, a quick 10 minutes of skipping or a short run would improve my mood dramatically. Now, of course, I wasn't always able to push through. For instance, there is nothing worse than waking up with a sore throat or a blocked nose. Getting sick was always a big hit to my motivation this year. Luckily, it didn't happen too much, but it was still a very big inconvenience not being able to exercise or go to training for a week. Now, staying consistent with my project journal was one of the hardest aspects of this project this year. Throughout year 12, I decided to keep my job, keep going to karate training, and work out 5 days per week. Needless to say, it's been a busy year. With all of that on top of year 12, it was very difficult to remember journaling. I'm at the point now where I do regret not journaling, as it would definitely be a great help to me now. It was just something that I didn't see as being very important, and now I'm regretting it. I know it's kind of ironic that I can push through so many hardships throughout the year, and yet it was writing a journal every now and then that I found the hardest. What really drove me throughout this year, you might ask? Throughout my childhood, I was always a pretty chubby kid. I never wanted to take my shirt off at the pool. As I went into high school, puberty slowly hit and I was stretched. I went from being a short, chubby kid to a tall, awkward, and very skinny kid. At first, I was very happy that I was no longer chubby anymore. I never really thought about the way I looked until around in year 10, I started seeing fitness influencers on social media and started to become a little bit self-conscious again. This was the point where I started to go back to the small workouts in my room with the dumbbells because I wanted to become muscular. Because of my personal journey with weight and body image throughout high school, I started this project with the goal to teach people about exercise. I didn't want them to have the same experience that I did though. I may have eventually gained a healthy relationship with working out and body image, but it took years. My goal for this was to introduce people to working out without any need for weight gain or weight loss. I simply wanted people to have the opportunity to find a passion in exercise without worrying about the way other people will see them or the way they want to look. This project has really opened my eyes to how much that I still don't know. Starting this year, I thought I had a good amount of knowledge about exercise. Now that I have spent a year researching this area of my project, I now see that there is still so much more for me to learn. Of course, I have a lot of knowledge about exercise now, but there is still a whole world of new things still to learn and improve on. By committing to a year of regular exercise, I proved to myself that I was able to stay consistent with something when I put my mind to it. I will hopefully be able to continue to do this for years to come. I have not only proved these things to myself, but also helped other people achieve their personal goals. I was able to find that being consistent, you'll make progress, even if you have ups and downs. You just have to push through the hard parts, and it will all pay off. I stand here at the end of the year, and after this project, I'm a lot more aware of my limits and how far to push myself. I'm extremely glad that I chose this project and didn't choose to create wall murals. Now, I've always been pretty gifted when it comes to art, so when I create a new art piece and people enjoy it, I don't get the same sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. So with this project, I went out of my comfort zone with something that I'm not naturally good at and discovered things about myself that I couldn't have known otherwise. I'm also glad that throughout this year, I've grown to love working out even more and haven't gotten bored with it, which I was scared about a little bit. I never really had big plans for year 12, so now after completing this project, I'm extremely glad that I chose it so that I could prove a point to myself that I was capable of achieving something when I put my mind to it. This project was a great test for me. It tested my time management skill, my discipline, and how badly I really wanted to progress this year. It tested my resolve. This project was an exploration of the benefits of exercise on the body and mind. It was for my personal growth and that of others around me, friends, family, and the wider community. The aims for my project were for my personal growth, having the opportunity to share this knowledge with other people around me, and gaining a deeper understanding of the human body and mind. I'm happy to say that I managed to spread knowledge that I obtained to many different people. I was able to watch my brother slowly fall in love with exercise. I was also able to reach my own personal weight goals and put on more weight than I expected I'd be able to in just 1 year. This was an amazing project that I enjoyed a great deal. I will continue to work out every day, even when the year is over, because I have a genuine passion for it, and I will continue to do it for years to come. Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay. Yes, so.
Other than sickness, was there any other difficulties that you ran into?
Ups and downs with just having too much time, like too much homework to do and not having enough time to work out. Like there would be weeks where I just wouldn't be able to get to it. But apart from that, not really. I tried to stay as consistent as possible.
How'd you go with like competing? Because I understand when you compete, you have to get pretty fit. And how is that with your bodybuilding?
So me and Lyndon both compete in karate tournaments, and yes, you do have to get pretty fit. And so it basically consisted of doing a lot of cardio alongside weight training, which again was very difficult because of the limited amount of time that I had throughout the day. But yeah, it just consisted of me having to force myself to do skipping every day so that I wouldn't be gassed out in 30 seconds in a fight. Yeah. Daniel.
Levi, great presentation.
Thank you.
If there was one personal quality that you had to single out that you developed within yourself this year, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, I've learned a lot about myself and how far that like I can actually handle, and I think that I've been able to read myself a lot better this year, and when I'm close to tipping point, when to stop, because there have been a few times where I've gotten home from work on a Tuesday afternoon, well, Tuesday night, it's been 8 o'clock, and I've been going, oh, I should go work out in the shed, and my mum's gone to me, probably shouldn't. So after she's reminded me about that a few times, I reckon I've become a little bit more aware of my breaking point.
Levi, congratulations on the speech. I thought you spoke really well, and it was
Thank you,
very
Daniel.
interesting for me to see your progress so far. My question is, apart from the physical development you saw from your exercise, what are some of the other benefits you really noticed?
I would definitely find that when I got home, I didn't like working out and then having to go do homework. I would normally just like to relax, but it definitely helped a lot with my concentration if I would work out before doing homework. Normally when I get home from school, I'm a bit befuddled and don't really know what to do with myself. So yeah, I find any form of exercise really helps me concentrate on homework afterwards, or any sort of thing that I have to do. That was probably the biggest improvement that I found. I could actually concentrate on my homework for extended periods of time instead of, I don't know, watching TikTok after 10 minutes. Yeah.
How much more do you reckon you can push yourself after doing all the exercising you've done now compared to beginning your project? Like in terms of duration in a run.
Well, I did a karate tournament in around March, and I got gassed very fast and I felt useless. So after I got the skipping rope from Shannon, I think I did skipping every day consistently for around 6 weeks before our next karate tournament, and I definitely found big improvements in my cardio capabilities and definitely didn't get as gassed. We also had another tournament recently where I did a decent amount of training with skipping, and I've found that has helped a lot. So I'd say my cardio has improved a lot. I've also gotten quite a bit stronger, which is pretty good. Yeah. Again.
Got to go again now. How does your skipping and the exercise actually help with karate?
So in our karate tournaments, we're fighting another person. So you have to move a lot, and that expends a lot of energy. On top of being extremely nervous that there's another person in front of me trying to hit me, you actually get gassed out a lot faster when you have a lot of nerves. So the skipping it helps with your footwork as well, being light on your feet, and it just helps a lot, because if you get gassed in a fight, you make bad decisions and lose. Yeah. Up the back.
Well done, Levi. That sounds like a really fun year that you've had.
Thank you.
Nutrition can be a really important part of increasing your fitness and building up. Is that something that you looked into this year at all?
I looked into it a little bit, and in sports science as well with Daniel, we looked into nutrition in the second half of the year. But I also found that strict dieting with bodybuilders there's been a lot of cases where people have developed eating disorders off of strict dieting, and that's, not very good. So nutrition is very important when it comes to staying healthy, but it wasn't one of the main goals or focuses of my project, just because strict dieting can cause eating disorders, which is obviously bad for your mental health, and that is something that I've been trying to avoid for my project.
You were never a chubby child.
Hey, I was.
Look, I just wanted to ask, sometimes when we need the exercise the most, we feel the least like we don't want to do it. It's like we're in
Yeah.
that place where we just don't feel like it, knowing that it will make us feel better. But it's just like, what would you suggest to someone who was not feeling like getting up and working out or doing some kind of exercise, but, you know, what would be something you'd suggest as sort of like a first step?
Well, I would say the thing that got me got me exercising, or in the start, it was Dad making us go to karate training in primary school. And when I did not want to go, I would always feel a lot better afterwards. So having someone with you to help push you through is a lot better than just doing it on your own. As I said, working out with Eden throughout the year helped a lot more, because if one of us wasn't feeling like doing it, it was more likely that the other person was. So you can help encourage each other. And yeah, I reckon get yourself a friend that will push you. And yeah, I think that's the best way that you're going to stay consistent with it.
Are you considering anything like PT in the future, or do you just want to focus on teaching yourself?
Well, if I was going to do a uni course or a TAFE course on anything, it would either be in art or sports science or personal training. I don't have any goals. I don't have any ideas for uni or becoming a personal trainer straight away after I finish school. But that is definitely an option for me that I would enjoy doing, because I do love it. I do love it, and I would love to help more people reach their goals. Jasper.
Hello, Levi.
Hello.
So you talked about body image and how your sort of self-confidence within like your physical body was kind of low, I guess. But and I guess you kind of improved it over time, but how has your like mental well-being improved over time because of the exercise?
So, with body image, I was never like a really extremely chubby kid. It was just how it's just how I saw myself, basically. So, as I mentioned, body dysmorphia, which is you may be in really great shape, but you see yourself as not being good enough and wanting to look better or something like that. So I would say I had a bit of that to begin with, and as I've made physical progress, that has slowly gone away. Of course, there's always a hint of it every now and then, but I would say it depends on the person. Some people are just naturally just don't care about the way they look. Some people, they just don't care. Other people are very they have a tendency to be extremely self-conscious and want to change the way they look. And even when they do make progress, it's not good enough. And that's basically body dysmorphia. So I'm pretty glad that it went away for me personally. I didn't really know if it was going to or not. But yeah, I've definitely become a lot more comfortable with the way I look. Always. That's time. Amazing. Thank you very much. All right, before I leave, I have a few thank yous to say. First, I would like to thank my family for always being there for me this year. My brother, of course, for being the best gym bro ever. My mum and dad for always checking up on me, seeing if I'm doing all right. Next, my supervising teachers, Eleanor and Beck, who were always there to check up on me again throughout the year and set me on the right track. Also Rose and Eleanor together with taking the class to where we are now. It's been quite the journey, but we made it. I'd like to thank my mentor Shannon, who couldn't make it tonight, but is an ever cheerful person in my life that's always ready to help me or give advice on how to do something. I'd like to thank the class and Aaron for going through this year with me. It's been a great time, bit of a wild ride, but we're here now. Also like to thank Grace, if she's out there somewhere. Grace, you've, along with Aaron, you two have been always ready to support the class, and I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. That's good.